Danielson and Ostrich, and I'm going to call him Ospreay today because I'm in a good mood. And again, another young man that shows that he can be produced. I appreciate that in a young talent. But have we explained why yet? Have we gotten to the bottom of why they ole, ole, ole? They're singing the English or the Mexican Spanish bullfighting chant that they sing at the English soccer games to the English fellow, but also to Danielson, who's from somewhere around Seattle. I'm confused.
Well, we've never gotten to the bottom of any of this, but I think with Ospreay, they're chanting, aren't they actually singing Ospreay, 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 Ospreay?
No.
I thought they were saying his name in this specific version.
They were going ole, 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 weren't they? Well, goddamn, now they can't sing the same tune and change the words. Well, that just messes me all up. I don't know. Anyway, let me just say this at the outset. That if everybody in the business wrestled and spoke and looked like Bryan Danielson, it would be drier than a nun's twat. He is a special, unique individual. He does it better than anybody else. He understands it. It fits him. He can have a fantastic match with almost anybody doing this stuff that everybody else tries to do. And, you know, at one point, 70 years ago, everybody in the business wanted to be Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. And we ended up getting Ray Stevens out of that. And then everybody wanted to be Ray Stevens, and we got Ric Flair out of that. Then everybody wanted to be the Road Warriors. And then everybody, you know, wanted to be, it's kind of dovetailed down that there's always one great practitioner of something, but people forget over time how many bleach blonde schlubs that couldn't fucking work, or how many goddamn muscle guys couldn't stick their thumb in their ass, or everybody wanted to be Mick Foley. But as a result, we got a bunch of fat tattooed guys taking bumps. They didn't understand the uniqueness, the specialness. So the point is, Bryan Danielson is a genius. Everything about his presentation, he's not a fireball fucking call the heavens down, Big Bad John style promo, but he talks like he looks like he should talk, and he's a witty, especially when he was that heel, smart ass kind of guy, and he's got some fire to him as babyface. And he looks like shit visually because he's small and he's pale. But that makes him an underdog and a baby face. And it works for him because the way he works gets around any of those shortcomings. The unique, special people violate the rules in a lot of cases of what should or shouldn't get over. But the most important thing is he understands how to put these things together. And they make sense, and it doesn't just become Eddie Kingston and some Japanese baked potato with arms and legs standing there wailing away on each other. It looks like two drunks in a goddamn mud fight. Does that make any sense, Brian?
It makes sense, sure.
Then that's what I don't understand, why more people can't look in the mirror and say, yes, a guy like Danielson or a guy like Mick Foley or a guy, whoever gives the average person hope that they too could be a big star. But when they try to do their shit and they can't do it, why don't those people realize it? Because if this had been any two other people than Danielson and my boy Will Ospreay, this would have been the shits. Because it would have been guys imitating what these guys are able to do physically, and probably they'd be imitating it badly. And it shows also that Ospreay is the same as Swerve, as Pac, and some of the others. If they're wrestling one of these fucking cheerleaders, that it all becomes tumbling and flips, or if they have the garbage match or whatever, it's furniture. But if they have a legitimate opponent, they slow down, they make it serious, they can do this shit. And I think that Will benefited greatly from having Danielson as an in-ring producer because, yes, Danielson has wrestled in other countries all over the world, but he's wrestled in front of big American crowds and he knows how to fucking work a match for them. And Will was there every step of the way. So, you know, even though it was a modern style match, it still looked like a contest. It wasn't the Japanese karaoke. When they do the mat wrestling, they don't overlook the little shit, and it doesn't look hokey. They built the match as much as you can anymore in these modern times to bigger moves as they went. And didn't just, you know, blow their whole fucking load in the first 10 minutes and then start repeating themselves. At one point, Danielson gave him some kind of fucking modified chicken wing German suplex off the top rope, but both of them sold. And then when Danielson finally crawled over and got to cover, Ospreay didn't kick out. He got his foot on the ropes. Even at one point when Danielson was really putting on Ospreay, and Ospreay got fed up with it when he dared Danielson to give him some more in that context, and that way it made sense. I wish I hadn't seen 100 clowns do it first badly. And so, again, this is another example, but this even more so, I said with Kyle and Roddy earlier, but if the WWE star-making machine could be, and the booking logic and sense and plans could be applied to guys who could do something like that, this shit would get over to a wider audience. But it's either feast or famine, as I said before. It's either these guys just being allowed to do all this bullshit, just everybody can do whatever they want, so none of it means anything. Or in the WWE, they've got so much money tied up in each guy on the roster that they don't want them to do anything dangerous. Be nice if we can meet in the middle, not too hot, not too cold. So anyway, the crowd was going fucking nuts for this whole goddamn thing. And at one point, Ospreay went for the cutter off the ropes, and Danielson hit him with a jumping knee, and the fans lost their shit, and I think Will lost some teeth, because that was fucking stiff. And then they went to opposite corners and fired the crowd up and charged, and Ospreay hit the elbow and hooked Danielson for the double arm and dropped him straight down, but safely. He tucked him, and he got tucked in the nick of time. I don't know if I was Danielson, I'd be calling it that close, but apparently he trusted the guy. And then the referee is like, oh, Doc, check on him. But Will went back to the opposite corner and hit the elbow, which I'm still not completely impressed by. From behind, boom, 1, 2, 3. And 32 minutes, and it didn't drag. The crowd made it in part because they were so invested. That was infectious, but also it didn't drag because they weren't breaking furniture 3 minutes in. You didn't feel like you'd seen everything 15 fucking times. It was a back and forth contest. They told a story in it, but they didn't lose sight of the fact that they were in a fight. So, you know, again, Cody is a complete waste of time. And I don't think
Okada, for those hearing this who are not aware who you're talking about.
Yeah, well, he looks like Japanese Cody. Cody. He's a complete waste of time and resources. And Mercedes, I don't believe, has proven herself to be that good. But with good opponents and booking, good booking, you can do something with Will Ospreay in America. And he might get the opponents. I'm afraid he ain't going to get the good booking because he's in AEW. But, you know, this, I applaud both guys because this was very good.
With good booking, the biggest match AEW has, I think, on the horizon in the future, I think it would be Will Ospreay as a babyface versus a heel MJF.
Yeah, now...
with good booking, like I said.
Yes.
Because Ospreay, he has proven it from day one. Again, you can't control how he's booked. He's looked good in his matches, which for some reason are against his own stablemates. But he looks good. His promos are fired up. The fans are behind him. This match was excellent. It was a notch above because of the crowd reaction.
Yeah.
The crowd was all in on this match. They weren't like that for every other match on the show. It was this match, the people in it. With good booking, which is always the problem there, Will Ospreay's the top babyface in that company. Feel bad saying that tonight. Swerve got the belt. But Ospreay has proven it so far, and you know, when you look at opponents down the road and on the horizon, I think that's the match with proper build-up over time could really mean something.
And exactly because MJF can talk and can work logically and sensibly, and he could produce Will to show off his strengths and possibly eliminate some weaknesses because he's not going to be doing gymnastics. But Don Fallis was on color here. He wasn't a factor in Ospreay's match, but Will Ospreay is in the group of heels managed by Don Fallis, including Hobbs and Fletcher and who's the other one? Who am I missing?
Hobbs, Fletcher, Takeshita.
Takeke, whatever his name is.
Who's impressed you more so far, Takeshita or Okada?
Oh, Takeshita. And I'll even pronounce him right for that. No, that's not even close. And with Takeshita, you can make him from scratch, and he doesn't feel like he's a star that ought to be getting special treatment. You can tell him what to do and produce him if you know what you're doing. And he's bigger, he's better looking, he's younger, he's got a better body, and his work looks better. He's trying harder. So, yeah, I think they ought to give him fucking Cody's money. But that's what I'm saying is that Ospreay's in the heel group with a heel manager. He's the most popular guy, except for maybe Swerve, who still has Nana as a manager, even though Nana's now not with the other heels. Nana never turned on anybody. But you have to have a heel manager to be popular.
Did you ever think we'd see the day where Nana became beloved babyface manager, dancing babyface manager Prince Nana?
Well, no, but that's the thing is there just to have continuity in somewhere, somehow, have him come out and either renounce the other heels he had or do some babyface act. He doesn't even help Swerve. He didn't help Swerve when Swerve was a heel, did he?
He's kind of like babyface Jimmy Hart as a manager.
Not in Memphis.
No.
In Memphis, Jimmy
in 93 in WWF.
Yeah, well, yes. No, I didn't want to give people the opinion that Jimmy Hart ever didn't get a chance to ever do nothing. But nevertheless,
as a babyface,
even when he turned babyface in Memphis for like 3 weeks, he was all over the show, and then turned back on Andy Kaufman, whatever the fuck. But anyway, this was a great match, and they've got something with Will, but how do they get him out of this group? Why was he in it to begin with? He's already had matches with everybody in the group. So if they turn on him or he renounces them, they're going to have grudge matches. They just had him. He beat everybody. I'm so confused. But anyway, kudos to you guys.
Excellent match.